We had the privilege of cooking along with Sadika Fakir and her husband Hermanth earlier when we made an Indian-inspired high tea. There were two recipes that were missing there, so we've decided to fill you guys in and show you how those two recipes are made. We're starting off with those chicken kebabs, and then we're going to finish it off with aloo tikki. Now, Sadika, you're going to be in charge of us now. You're going to show us exactly how everything is done. I'll just be doing the manual labor.
That's perfect, Chef Tumi. And I think, again, another super easy dish. Everything into one bowl, then it's going to get into a frying pan to done. So, Hermanth, would you mind just chopping up the chili?
Sure.
Really fine. Your coriander and your mint. And again, you can determine how much coriander you want, how much mint you want. And always a recommendation to keep the chili really fine, because again, the last thing you ever need is to bite into that level of chili. If you don't want to touch the chili, you can use a spice blender. That's absolutely fine. And then everything's going to go into your chicken mince. And the important thing here, all the spices. So all of the spices in here, your cumin powder adds almost that warmth tone to it. Your turmeric goes in, your chili powder. And again, chili powder, really you determine how much heat you want. But for this level, we just wanted the flavors of all the spices to come out. Okay. So a very little amount of chili powder. And again, the thing here is about salt to taste. So, but ensure you do season, because spices love seasoning. They get activated with salt, and that's the important thing. And then for your warm tones, your ginger and your garlic paste. And again, ideally a ginger and a garlic paste, because it's quite smooth. You don't, again, want to bite into a piece of ginger or a piece of garlic, basically. And mix that all about.
And I just want to ask you then, because we're using chicken mince right now, or ground chicken rather.
Yes.
Would you prefer that people buy their own chicken and then cut it up themselves, because then you know whether it's the white meat or the dark meat, and which meat would be better for this kind of recipe?
Sure. So we normally have our local butcher mince us up some chicken breast meat. Okay. But if you want a little bit of thigh meat in there, you're more than welcome to do that. You can even use this recipe with lamb or beef as well. So you can choose your protein. It's entirely up to you on how you want to make it. And then for extra binding, we add in an egg, to me, to just ensure that the mince comes together, one, and two, the egg actually adds to the moisture.
Ah, interesting.
That's it.
Now, Hermanth, we're going to be adding chilies and mint into this recipe, but I also realized that we've put some chili powder.
Yes.
Is that not going to be an
So the chili powder basically is just more used for color that we need, and a bit of that texture that we require. The real heat comes from the green chili itself. So we basically will never overpower anything. It depends again on the person's preference of heat. And we always want to make sure that we enjoy what we are eating and not getting overpowered and start to cry, especially with heat. People tend to complain.
Yeah.
But here we're basically going to marry the chili to the meat.
Yeah, it's about the flavors. And then your last spicing or seasoning is the fresh lemon. So it just adds such a lovely degree of freshness to the entire dish. Now, the thing about the onion is we're actually frying it.
Okay.
So again, the cool thing here is we're not going to add in any oil into this dish, but the oil level or your fat level is going to be through pan frying the onions in some clarified butter. As you know, Sadika and Hermanth are the McGee's.
The McGee's. Awesome stuff. So I've added everything into here, and I'm going in with my lemons, but I also would need to heat up my oil, and today I'm going to be using some Exceller oil. This is perfect for frying, perfect for any type of cooking technique. I think the great thing about it is that it's high in vitamins A and D, and the lovely thing I love about Exceller is that there's no residual taste that comes from it. It doesn't taste like anything. It's just a clear, plain oil. So I've added the lemon juice into the Sadika, and then is this when the chilies and the mint would go in?
That's it. You're perfectly fine to add in that. You're mixing it around, and you can already see it's quite moist. And it's absolutely fine when you're rolling up and it's a little bit sticky. That's perfect.
Okay.
We don't want the mince to crumble. Yes. And I think that is the biggest secret here. Is it's okay if it's a little bit grainy. And again, you don't look for the the perfect kebab. It can be misshaped. It's absolutely fine. A little bit rustic, it's fine. I think that's the word when you don't get the perfect round kebab. It's a little bit rustic.
You actually don't really need to have it in perfection, because the perfection is in the taste. And so we're basically making anything that is never perfect. Everything has to be rustic. Everything has to be imperfect to be imperfect as well.
The perfection lies in the taste, right?
Very true. Right, so I've added all the lemon in here. I've added the spices. I've got the chilies in here.
Yes, the chili is ready.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead and get it all in.
All in there.
That's it. Get it all in.
Then we put in the herbs now for you.
And that's the mint and the coriander. Very finely chopped. And my onions are all ready. So onions fried in clarified butter till they are golden brown.
Now, Sadiqa, most people when making kebabs at any point, they use raw onions. And I understand you've mentioned that we're putting cooked onions in here because of the ghee. But is there another specific reason why they're cooked?
That's extra flavor. So when you cook onions, you bring out extra sweetness.
True.
So you get a wonderful, nutty, earthy taste to that.
My stuff. This is why we bring you back here. This is why we have you on our show, because we need those tips and tricks, right?
That's it. And in some instances, if you want that crunchification on an onion, use half part raw onion, really finely chopped, and half part cooked. Our family just prefers the full cooked onion. It just melts away when you get it into the pot. Because
you pre-cook the onion, it just gives you a bit of the warmth, the burnt, and a little bit of the crispiness in the flavor itself, in the meat itself. So it is one smooth texture, because it'll work perfectly when you're adding it to the fuleka that we made early on. And you put a lemon juice on it, and we got a perfect dish. But for me personally, I add in tomato sauce to extra zing. I always go a little bit overboard.
Being the little toddler he is.
Well, one thing that should definitely be added is that crunchification word that you keep saying.
That's it. That's it.
All right, so now it's quite soft.
It is quite soft. That's perfect. That's absolutely fine. You're going to dollop it in there.
You don't even have to worry about it being perfect, like you said, right? Okay.
Don't.
Just go in.
Absolutely fine. You let it go in, and let me help you fry these up.
Sure, no problem.
So absolutely. So we can get them all in, and this is what you do in the household.
True.
You have your whole family together, getting your hands dirty, and just getting it in there like that.
Yeah, because I think conversation happens, and relationships happen, memories happen.
Over the pot, right?
Yeah, over the frying pan or the pot.
You can just...
You cook, you make it, because perfection again happens not in perfect dough or the ball. It is the conversation and the relationship. And
you can already start smelling those spices in there.
Girl, I was smelling the spices while I was adding them in there. So
and spices get activated by heat.
True. All right, so we're going to fry these off just until the chicken is cooked, but we still want that nice brown color on the outside.
Absolutely brown. So you've got to really watch and play now. You've got to watch that it's golden brown, and there's enough oil at the bottom so it doesn't stick. And it is to ensure that it doesn't get too dry inside. We want a moist kebab.
And another thing I need to ask you, and I'm sure people do ask this question often, whenever we're making kebabs, the whole idea is to make them all the same size so that you don't have one too big, one too small. Do you have a trick on how to get them all equal size?
So take a golf ball size and just play around with it. And what I do is I do 2, and then I use the 2 as my benchmark in the pot to go, right, okay. And then you have basically rough sizes that are equal.
All right, we've done the kebabs, done. Now we have one more dish to share with you, so you definitely need to stay tuned for more.